Hello again, Flosstube, it's me. You may have noticed that I finally managed to get round to showcasing all those purchases I made over the last couple of months. That brief 20-odd second video that I uploaded prior to this. Anyway, I'm going to just, for a moment, say what my progress is on things, and then we're going to get to the stitching, because this time round there will actually be cross-stitching. You know, doing stuff, video on the screen. Anyway, first off, a couple of projects I finished. They were shown in the little compilation of recent purchases, known as Fair Isle. It's a knitting pattern type, I believe. Anyway, it's Pokemon based. I changed the colours. The actual colours were, red Pokemon with a green pattern, and then vice versa. I decided to colour coordinate them to the Pokemon to be. So this might be a bit awkward to see the actual Pokemon themselves, but first off we have the Pokemon Pikachu with a brown background, yellow for Pikachu's colour, brown to represent the bit of his tail closest to his body. And his counterpart we have Eevee. The pattern again is brown but lighter, and Eevee itself is cream, to represent the fact that Eevee's fur is a lighter shade of brown and it's kind of a creamy colour at the end of its tail. So there's that one. There are 6 other patterns. 3 of them actually have the same background picture because they're born from the same region, and the other 3 have different background picture. But I decided to choose them two. And my current project is another smallish one. It's about, I think, 90 odd or so. The blooming lines are fading again. But it's by HarpSealCrossStitch on Etsy, called Bathhouse Day. I believe this might have been in a previous list of purchases. But there's the picture. Looks a lot like the bathhouse from the Spirited Away movie by Studio Ghibli. I wouldn't be surprised if it is that bathhouse, actually. Love that film, got it on DVD, doesn't like to play very much. Like, it gets most of the way through the film and then it just stops. So it's like... Also, since we moved, it's been in storage somewhere, so can't watch it, regardless. Anyway, there's my progress. Got a little bit of the bathhouse roof up here. Got the pole there. Got some of the sky in. It might be awkward to notice, but it's a bit round here. I actually have to fix. It's black, but there's that. So I'm just continuing on with the sky. I actually had to redo this bit, the pole, because I accidentally got the colours back to the front. Instead of having the darker one at the side and then the light one for the most part, I did it the other way around. And wondered why it looked odd. But that's it for cross-stitch. The next thing I want to show is I was recently watching a video from a YouTuber that I hadn't uploaded for a few months. And in that video they were showing some of their knitting off. Her channel was originally KosStitcher's, and I've forgotten what it was rebranded to. I think she just put her full name. But, yeah. If you maybe type in the original channel name, it'll come up with her new name. Good channel, by the way. One of the very first I saw. But, anyway. In my case, obviously, because I don't use knitting needles, I use looms and a doll. There's a scruffy loom knit hat. I say scruffy because it was like, okay, do I have anything on this thing? You know, the loom's sitting in the bag, there's wool sitting in the bag, am I in the middle of something? And apparently I was in the middle of just stitching, so I just finished, you know, just ended it. And turned it into a hat with rather scruffy, I don't know if you can even call it a pom-pom. Yeah, it's a rather scruffy hat. I also decided, just randomly, make a ring using the same I think it was the same hoop. Might have been the same one, same size. Could be wrong, might have been the smaller one. Because this is the... Like, apparently you got four sizes. The four sizes are representative of smallest of things like tea cozies and mats and stuff like that, you know, little place mats or something. The second one is for babies and toddlers or whatever. The third one is for adults. Well, basically just older folk, you know, for adults and that. And the biggest one is for bigger projects. So, I got a ring there. And then I went back to my knitting doll for a change. And I actually looked up some French knitting videos to see how close I was to actually doing it properly, or if I was. Apparently, I kind of was. Like, the way I actually French knit is the same way you loom knit. It's exactly the same method I use. But apparently, it's slightly different on the doll. You start the same way, but instead of constantly doing the E's going around for your set of stitches, you just, like, put a wee bit of wool round and then tuck over, a wee bit of wool round, tuck over. And this will be awkward to see because I've tied it together at the end. But, got a little, don't know what you want to call it, maybe bracelet? I don't know. But it's like really tightly packed because of how it's done. And last but not least, as you can see I got the doll out, is done, as I said, the way I usually do the French knitting. It's as if I'm doing loom knitting. Go from one end to the other. So, yeah, there's the doll with the wool coming at one end, and what's pretty much a rope coming out the other. And that one is not so tightly packed. I'd try and show a close-up of both, but it wouldn't be easy. But, yeah, I don't know if it shows properly. I'll try and hold it together. But, yeah. The long one is the same way you do loom knitting. You do a lot of V's. This one, it's just you move the wool round slightly, tuck the underneath bits over. So I suppose that's akin to normal knitting, kind of. Or even finger knitting, because that's the way you do it, is you have your wee loop on your finger and then you just put a bit of thingy over, pull over the original loop, put a bit over, pull over the original loop. It's pretty much like that. Just more stitches at once. So, apparently it's 3 at once is the recommended. So, just wrap this back up. And yeah, for those that may not remember it or haven't seen it, there's my knitting doll. Mum got it from the shop Pastimes in Edinburgh, Scotland, from when she used to work over there. One of the joys of rope, huh? You just wrap it. Put that there. Ta-da! Anyway, that's unfortunately all I have to show, so next it'll be on to stitching. I hope you enjoy. Just be warned, some of the video footage will be in English. The rest of the video footage will be in French, because the game I played it in English umpteen times, and I just randomly felt like doing a playthrough in French. Because it'd been a long time since I played a game in French. In fact, the last time I played a game in French was the mid-2000s, when the original Pokémon Mystery Dungeon Red and Blue were released, because it was Mystery Dungeon Red. When I first played it, I played it in French. No, sorry, tell me. When I first played it, I played it in Japanese. I don't know how I managed it at all. And then I played it in French. And then I played it in English. I haven't learnt French in years, but even when I was younger, it was like when I first started reading video game instruction manuals, I'd look at the English, and because I was so young, my brain wouldn't register it properly. I looked at the German and various other languages, and my brain was just like, eh. And I looked at the French, and it was as if I was looking at the English as an older individual that knew how to read English, you know? I've always been able to read French, just don't ask me to speak it. I can understand it by listening, I can understand it by reading it. I suck at writing it, I suck at speaking it. Basically, I can take it in, just don't expect me to, present things in French. That's one thing you always, that was fun about my school exams. I had better grades for the reading and listening than I did for the writing and talking. But that's understandable. Especially the reading. The best for the reading. And I was proud of that. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to get stitching. Enjoy. that's that. On to showing what I barely managed to get done in that time. And the reason I say barely managed is because it was kind of pathetic progress. What I managed to do was this blue section here. You got the corner of the bathhouse, and you got that long pole, and it was literally the blue in between. Well, it didn't help that I had to undo some of it, because I made a mistake very early on, so I had to undo some and then redo it. But it's done, so I'm just going to continue on with the bathhouse now. And a couple of other things. The knitting doll with the French knitting I was showing, I decided, well, the French knitting's getting long enough. So here's one end. And if I do this, here's the other end. So, little mini rope. And I decided to make it easier, because we'd not long finished one of our kitchen rolls, use the insert as a makeshift holder for the wool. I noticed people tend to have those cones of wool, so makeshift version of it. Now it should be hopefully a lot easier than going all over this roll. Yeah, I'm afraid that was it. Hopefully next time there might be some more gameplay. I don't know if it's the same game, if it'll be a different game, might just be a general update. But regardless, until next time.